Hey there YouTube, That's here, bringing you 3 games today from the Enter the Dragon Masters Division tournament I took place in last weekend. My team, as always, going to be Sceptile, Rotom, Amoonguss, and Terrakion, leading off against Aki, who has, like, Kyurem, Reshiram, Fusion, Mega Uber, Darkrai, one of the most popular Pokemon in this tournament, Gardevoir, and Aggron. So, this guy's team is super scary. Not only is there like a super Uber on their team, there's a Darkrai, there's a Gardevoir, and an Aggron, and I don't know where his Mega is. So what I'm going to try and do into this lead is going to lead off with the team's combo, Sceptile, Rotom, and just try to, I don't know, get like a really early kill turn 1. I know there's no fake out pressure on his board, so I'm just going to do the best I can and try and pick up like a cheese KO, I guess. So worst thing that could possibly happen for me, he leads off with Kyurem, Reshiram Fusion, I guess I'm just going to call it Kyurem, and Darkrai. So Darkrai able to get Dark Void, and it's already very fast. Remember, his ability is going to be Bad Dream, so when he puts Pokemon to sleep, they're actually going to take residual damage at the end of the turn. So to start out turn 1, I'm going to Mega Evolve, gain that Dragon type and Lightning Rod, and just go for a Protect. The reason why, I don't want to die to Kyurem, and I don't know if it's Scarfed, so I'm trying to read it. Obviously, it's not going to be Scarfed because my Rotom is faster, going to lay down a Discharge on the board, but we're going to see my opponent retaliate with a Dark Void, effectively putting my Rotom to sleep. Remember, Sceptile protected, so it's safe from the onslaught this turn. So we're going to see Kyurem go for an Ice Beam instead of a Dragon attack here, and yeah, I eat the Bad Dreams, and I'm definitely losing right now. I am definitely losing. I was really hoping for a para on one of my opponent's Pokemon. I decide to ignore the Darkrai, go for a potential KO on Kyurem, and I actually don't even pick it up. That thing is so bulky. That's just the power of Ubers. We also see Darkrai go for a Dark Void onto my Rotom, and my Sceptile eats an Ice Beam. So I have a Sleep Rotom who's being affected by Bad Dreams. My Sceptile's gone, and my opponent still has all 4 of their Pokemon. Things can't really get much worse than they already are, so I'm going to have to put everything on the most luck-based play I possibly can. I send out Terrakion, I use Protect, and I'm thinking, Rotom, if you've ever wanted to wake up, please wake up, and it actually does. So it's going to wake up. I went for the huge YOLO play. Rotom is going to wake up, pick up the KO on Kyurem, which is quite nice, and get Darkrai very low into the red. So Darkrai is also going to reply back with a Dark Void. It actually misses on my Rotom. It misses, and Rotom woke up. Rotom is putting in work this game. So I do not want to discharge my Terrakion. I don't want to paralyze it. I don't want to break my Sash. I switch out to my Amoonguss thinking even if I get parried, I'll be fine. So we're also going to see him go for a Mega Gardevoir. And this is actually another thing that's really beneficial for me. Remember I said if he had a Mega Aggron, I just don't see a way I can actually break him. So I just hate fighting Mega Aggron, especially in situations as weird as this Uber's format. So we're going to pick up the KO on Darkrai, but we're going to paralyze my Amoonguss, which is quite unfortunate, but there's nothing I can really do about it in this situation. We're also going to see Gardevoir go for an Energy Ball, targeting the Terrakion slot. Not going to be the best. He probably should have just went for a Psychic. I don't know. Maybe he thought something weird. We're going to finally see Aggron come in, and I'm thinking maybe it's Sturdy. And so I'm just YOLO discharging. There's nothing else I can really do here. He finally decides to go for that Psychic. It's going to be targeting my Amoonguss, and of course it's going to pick up the KO because it is super effective stabbed on a Mega Gardevoir. So Amoonguss is going down, and Aggron is going to reply with an Iron Head, but it doesn't actually pick up the KO on my Rotom. Remember, I totally forced that damage by being Electric Fire, so gonna live through that, and gonna do the same thing I did about 3 turns ago. Gonna go for Protect, gonna go for a Discharge here, just trying to get rid of that Gardevoir. And we're not gonna get rid of Gardevoir, but we are gonna paralyze Aggron. So quite good for me. He's still going with Energy Ball. So, I don't know if he knows that Psychic is like super effective, but I don't know. Rotom's finally gonna go down, and it's up to Terrakion to fight the world, I guess. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go for a Rock Slide. It's gonna hit both my opponent's Pokemon. I'm actually surprised that I'm faster than Gardevoir. I mean, Gardevoir potentially can be faster after Mega Evolving. You probably just went with a bulkier set. Either way, we pick up the KO, and we flinch the Aggron, leading my opponent to flee there. Remember, you guys have seen my games throughout the tournament. My Terrakion has a Sash, so there's literally no way that that guy could have won, because even if I didn't flinch, he would have clocked my Sash. Worst case scenario with an Iron Head crit, and then I just would have close combated him, unless he had like a Quick Claw. So like if he Iron Head crits my Terrakion, and then Quick Claw Iron Heads me, that I would have lost probably. But that didn't happen, and I picked up the win against Aki. So great game one, leading off against a really, really strong Uber team. So I'm pretty confident going into another game, leading off this time against Brian, who has an Arceus. An Arceus, the like literal like god of Pokemon. He also has Mega Salamence, a Goodra, and an Aegislash. I was so surprised to see Aegislash in this tournament. I didn't think about it at all. I mean, fortunately for me, I have a Rotom, but like Amoonguss can't hit it, Terrakion can't hit it, and Sceptile can Dragon Pulse it. So my team is quite bad against Aegislash. We're just going to start things off right here, get right into it against Brian. Yeah, that Pokemon caught me completely off guard. I probably caught just as many people off guard by bringing in a Amoonguss. I mean, that's a Pokemon you would very rarely see in this tournament. So, he's going to lead off with Arceus Salamence, and you see the Arceus is like golden, and it's super hacked, and it has that like hacked ribbon that says it's incredibly hacked. And he gets an Intimidate off on me, no big deal, but I do not know what plate that Arceus is holding. I've never fought an Arceus on like the actual Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, so like I'm kind of used to fighting it on Showdown a little bit, but I have no idea what plate that's holding. For all I know, it's a fairy, it's a water type, it's a light, whatever. I have no freaking clue what type that thing is. So I'm gonna go for the combo. I usually like to do this when I have no idea what to do. You guys have seen me do this a million times. Choice Scarf, Discharge onto my opponent, praying for pairs, and we see him Hydro Cannon my Rotom. Is that legal? I really just don't think that that's legal, but it's Arceus, and it's super hacked. And whatever, he Hydro Cannoned me. That was incredibly weird, and I decided to go with a D-Pulse off the Salamence. I figured there's nothing else I could have really done, and I really wanted the boost because if let's say I just Protect Discharge like normal, I wouldn't get the boost, which means I wouldn't be able to +1 Dragon Pulse the Aegislash later in the game. So he definitely took out my Rotom, which means I'm running out of options to check this Aegislash. I decided to go with a +1 D-Pulse on it. Not doing very much, praying it doesn't have leftovers. Remember, Arceus has to recharge from Hydro Cannon. We're going to see Aegislash go faster than my Amoonguss. Try and go for a Flash Cannon here. Pretty strong move. This Pokemon is also in the Uber tier in Smogon. And we're gonna see my Amoonguss go for a Spore onto the recharging Mega Omega Arceus. So starting off this turn, we're obviously going to see Aegislash stance change. That's the standard move we always see these guys use. Remember, it's going to make him immune to physical and special attacks, but like status moves still hit it. So I opted to go for a Dragon Pulse on that Arceus. I have no freaking clue what type it is. I'm assured now that it is a fairy type. And we also see Amoonguss go for a Spore. Remember, Spore does go through King Shield, in case you didn't know that. That is a little bit of a cool tip. That's why sometimes Protect is just a better option. So starting off turn 5, we're going to go for the Rage Powder. There's no other move to really do, and I decide to go for a +1 Leaf Storm onto this super mega fairy Arceus thing. So, going to pick up the KO on Arceus. And, I mean, that's just so crazy how someone could just bring an Arceus to this tournament. So ridiculous. Aegislash tried to attack. Remember, even if he's asleep, he still stance changes. So if I would have attacked him with, like, an HP Fire with my Amoonguss, it would have done quite a bit of damage because I'm slower. He decides to send out his Goodra. Remember, I am at -1 since I got a -2 from using Leaf Storm when I was originally a +1. Yeah, that puts me at -1. I have to switch out because there's no way I'm taking out that Goodra with my Sceptile. He decides to go for an Ice Beam, and I don't know, this is a pretty weird game. I decided to go for a Spore onto Goodra. Remember, Goodra can have Gooey, Hydration, and Sap Sipper. So actually going for Spore was very, very risky. It was also to a point where there's no other move to really do. So starting off turn 7, I go for a Rage Powder here and go for a close combat on the sleeping Goodra. And I'm just hoping that this Aegislash stays asleep for one more turn. That's my main plan. Remember, I am going to get affected by the Gooey, but at this point it doesn't really matter. So we're going to see Goodra be asleep, and Aegislash is actually going to wake up and go for a Flash Cannon. Kinda sucks to see Flash Cannon coming out here, but he targets my Amoonguss instead of, I Rage Powdered. Yeah, I'm going to keep Rage Powdering, you're right. I almost made a casting error in saying something that didn't happen. So we decide to go for a Rage Powder. He goes for a Shadow Sneak. I think he originally targeted me. It's actually not going to pick up the KO. It's actually going to affect Spore, paralyze him, which is quite weird. And we're going to do a ton of Rocky Helmet damage, as well as retaliate with a Rock Slide. So the main plan of this was to finish off the Goodra, and also try and flinch the Aegislash. We're going to leave the Aegislash in the red, and at this point he decides to take his destiny into his own hands, go for a Shadow Sneak onto my Amoonguss, and finish himself off with Rocky Helmet damage, the residual Rocky Helmet damage. So, anyways, he's going to go down, and yeah, I beat Hydro Cannon Arceus guy. I really have no idea if Arceus can actually learn Hydro Cannon, but I don't know if there's like a move tutor that would actually teach it to that. I just think that it's incredibly hacked. And if you guys can prove that Arceus learns Hydro Cannon, leave it in the comments below, and I'll try and look into that, because I want to know, because that seems a little bit broken. Alright, we have one more battle here. Just one more. It's going to be me versus Asian guy using Xerneas. Xerneas of all Pokemon. This battle is not going to be very cool. I've showed you guys a bunch of battles of me sweeping people and using like cool, not uber Pokemon to dominate this tournament. This tournament, this battle is just going to show the strength of the most powerful Uber of all in the whole freaking game. Leading off against Xerneas here, has Fairy Aura, makes fairy attacks super strong. I start to off turn 1, going for a close combat on Ferrothorn, just because I need to take this guy out if I'm ever going to use Sceptile, and there's nothing else to really do here. I could have potentially taunted the Xerneas, but I already know what it's going to do. I don't know, I felt like I should just attack the Ferrothorn because I don't want to Leech Seed, I don't want to get in that whole weird game. Xerneas is going to go for Genomancy. This is a move that, it's a power-up move, so it takes 2 turns to use. He's actually going to use a Power Herb. This is standard Uber's play here to activate it in the same turn. He's going to gain +2 special attack, +2 special D, and +2 speed. So it's like using 2 Quiver Dances in 1 turn, but he's going to get Spored. So he's going to get put to bed. Now, one of the bad things about this team is it's heavily reliant on special attacks, and yeah, I mean, all I have is Terrakion, and that's not going to do that much. So we're going to start off turn 2 by going for a Rage Powder. I do have a Pokemon up on this guy, but I don't really feel like I'm ahead yet. If I can take out Xerneas, I win. If I can't, I lose. It's my whole team of 4 Pokemon versus Asleep Arceus right now. So we're going to go for a Rock Slide, actually going to pick up a critical hit on a Dragonite here. He's actually going to use Earthquake. I was very, very surprised to see Earthquake here. He's going to pick up the KO on my Terrakion. I expected, like, you know, like a dragon attacker. I had something to go into my Amoonguss, so it's quite lame to lose my Terrakion there, but there's not that much I can do. I decided to go for a Protect here, just in case he has like a Hurricane or something weird. We're going to see Xerneas then wake up, and he's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Remember, he has Fairy Aura, so it is super strong, and it's going to crit my Rotom here. And it's weird, because my Rotom got crit by like 5 or 6 Xerneas Dazzling Gleams this whole tournament. I'm going to reply back with a Discharge here. Remember, he was super fast because of his Genomancy, actually picking up the Para on the Xerneas, which is quite good for me, but you saw that it just tickled it. And his last Pokemon's going to be Togekiss. There's just nothing I can really do here. Xerneas is just so bulky with that Genomancy. I pick up a Para on the Togekiss, but yeah, I mean, I can't break this wall here. If I want to be able to take out the Xerneas with my Sceptile, I have to go through Togekiss, because Togekiss can potentially follow me. Togekiss can also just KO my Sceptile. So I'm praying Xerneas is paralyzed. It's actually not going to be paralyzed. It's going to be able to pick up the KO on my Rotom here. And it's now Sceptile versus the 2 biggest checks to it in the whole game. I just have to pray that one of them is paralyzed forever. That's the only thing I can really do here. I think potentially there might be a way I live 1 Air Slash. So I decided to go after the Pokemon that can KO me with just by looking at it. So I Leaf Storm. I think I barely pick up the KO because he had a +2 specialty. Pick up the KO on Xerneas. There's no other move I can really use. I have Focus Blast, Dragon Pulse, and Protect. So I eat one Leaf Storm, or 1 Air Slash, sorry, and live at 2 HP and go for. I try to crit with this Leaf Storm. Doesn't work. I'm like, all right, well maybe if he's parried for like 3 turns I can win, or if he misses. Nah, that's not going to work. I already got really lucky this game by paralyzing the Xerneas, so not going to get lucky again. Sceptile's going to go down, and, you know, that's just how a lot of the battles go in this tournament. I mean, I had a decent showing. Oh, there's, like, sirens outside my house. That was pretty crazy. Anyways, that's really distracting. Anyway, so I had a really good showing this tournament. I ended up mid-1600s because I didn't get to play all the games I wanted to, but I figured I should end it on, I guess, just a losing battle, because I showed you guys a bunch of really cool battles, and I wanted to show you guys a more realistic showing of the tournament. This guy had a really strong team, brought 2 fairies, a really strong dragon type, had a great ability, and, Ferrothorn who can grind out anything. So this is the last battle I have for the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed all the replays I have of it, and thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe. Someone needs to get on it and show me if Arceus can learn Hydro Cannon. That's something someone should do. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out.